Okay, round two. Best comic book villain. Who is the best comic villain? We're gonna start with Josh. We're gonna come to Aaron, and we're gonna go over to Sean. So you can start off right now.
I would say the best comic book villain is Cormac.
From.
Well, he's from a lot of things, but mainly from the Guardians comics, and specifically Guardian 3000.
Okay, so Marvel continuity.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
The Joker from also my shirt and my shoes.
All right.
Yes.
And I went with Lex Luthor. Kind of goes with my previous answer of Superman, but I felt like.
Shut down, guys. Let's go.
Okay. Right. Well, no. I'm gonna attack right now. Firstly, yours, because I don't know you character. Nice. Yours. There was this quote that I was thinking of when I read your answer, and he said, "A successful man is someone who wakes up in the morning, goes to sleep at night, and achieves what they want to do in between." Lex Luthor is not that person. He's failed on many accounts, and one of the only achievements that he actually got was when he wanted to be president, and he actually got elected president, and Superman and Batman public enemies. And he somehow juiced up on kryptonite and fought Superman. He still lost. And then on top of that, he carried around kryptonite for so long, trying to kill Superman, that he ultimately contracted cancer and thus killed himself.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, that's still considered a failure. And also compared to the Joker, with the Joker, like I was talking about Batman's psychology, the Joker actually contributes to Batman's psychology and his actions. Same thing goes for Jim Gordon and Batgirl, because she became Oracle. And if it wasn't for him, Calculator would have never became Calculator, because the reason Calculator became Calculator is because he heard heroes talking to Oracle. And for him, Jason Todd wouldn't be Red Hood. He also had some independent psychological issues on Tim Drake in canon and non-canon stories, also on Dick Grayson. And not to mention the fact that Joker is way better well-known, and if not well-known, more popular than Lex Luthor, because I have so much things Joker, and I'm just going to pull them out of my pocket, like this belt buckle, and this other belt buckle.
Oh, he brought props!
And I have my 2 Batman wallets.
That just shows that you like the Joker, sir.
And then just the fact that the only thing I've ever gotten in my life that's considered to be anything related to Lex Luthor is 2 free portable chargers from Comic Con.
I know! They're so awesome!
Yeah, but I lost them, so.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And also the fact that Joker actually succeeds, and Joker is meant to be a polar opposite of Batman, because Batman is meant for justice and order, and Joker is more of a chaotic, corruption kind of guy. And what Lex Luthor does is just...
Do you mind if I pull apart his argument?
Yeah, and Lex Luthor is just a James Bond villain.
Okay.
And he really gets
Lex Luthor is the best villain because him and Superman both are meant to be the best of the human race.
Mm-hmm.
You have Superman who has clear empathy and everything, and then you have Lex Luthor. And what makes Lex Luthor a great villain is that all he wants to do is defeat Superman, and he will go to any lengths to do that. And the fact that he can constantly, much like in Public Enemies, where as President of the United States, he kind of goes crazy and on kryptonite and tries to kill Superman and fails. First off, all of our villains fail.
Yeah.
All right, we have to concede that. But Lex Luthor manages to fail consistently, but beat Superman in the court of public opinion. There are people that don't like Superman. There are people that don't like Lex Luthor, but there's a lot of people within the continuity of the DC universe, rather, that do see Lex Luthor as a hero. If people didn't like Lex Luthor and see him as something relatively commendable, he wouldn't have become president of the United States. And even when he's felt the need to save the human race, like he's a great villain because he doesn't see himself as the villain. He sees himself as saving the human race from themselves and their reliance on Superman. And to that end, while he doesn't ever truly succeed, because Superman, he comes very close. And the Joker has an obsession with Batman and vice versa. And I will say that doesn't make him unsuccessful, but he doesn't ever beat Batman. at least Lex Luthor has won in the court of public opinion on more than one occasion.
But here's the thing: the Joker doesn't aim to beat Batman because Joker even said he sucked.
That makes him a poor villain.
No,
if he's not trying to beat the hero, he's a poor villain.
He's beating him in a way, but he doesn't want to like ultimately end him like Lex Luthor does, because he says, "Without you, who would I be?" and vice versa. Now, as far as Lex Luthor goes, Lex Luthor was his
Hold on, I
greatest
want to pull
weakness.
apart Korvac real quick.
Oh yeah, let me just finish
that,
with this one point. Yeah, Lex Luthor's greatest weakness is himself, and point in case during Infinite Crisis when he found his other parallel universe version self, which is also evil. I'll just call him Alex for now. Alex managed to destroy parallel universe versions of Earth, and somehow throughout that story, even he still failed, being killed by Lex in a dark, dirty alley by the Joker and Lex Luthor himself.
Right.
Because he's so filled with avarice.
The very fact that somebody with the ability to create a multiverse was managed to get caught by Lex Luthor prior to that death is just showing how great Lex Luthor is. Joker might have given the killing blow, but all of the work getting to that killing blow was done by Lex.
I'm not even talking about
Korvac.
Wait, before you jump into Korvac, I know
Before
you
I jump
but
to-
I want to hear about why Korvac is even in this.
So the
Who the hell is
thing,
Korvac?
the thing about Korvac that I just want to say, he's different depending on at what time and in what universe you look at him.
Okay.
So in Guardians 3000, he's more like a cybernetic human that's moving towards being a villain that you see in actual like older comics in the original Guardians 3000 before they kind of got axed as a team.
In the 70s.
He was a god at that time, and then in Guardians 3000, he's more of a human being getting to that point. The reason why I picked Korvac as the best villain is because he actually gets to what he's doing. I forget how he got defeated in the original Guardians 3000 run, but in Guardians in the most recent Guardians 3000 run, he was going to actually get everything done because there was no way they could have stopped him. Korvac, his goal is to make a perfect world, and he knows exactly how to make that perfect world, and he was playing them like chess, mind you. The only thing that stopped him was Secret Wars, which no one could stop. Whereas with Joker and Lex Luthor, regular people stop him. Korvac, he would have wiped.
I'm sorry.
He would have wiped. No. Because the thing about Korvac is they didn't even know Korvac was doing anything. They had to find him, and then they said, "Oh wait, this house. Let's go there." And then they just see Korvac in the living room playing everyone like chess. Joker and Lex Luthor both fail because they don't know how to actually achieve what they're doing. Korvac does. Joker, he's less of a villain and more of an adversary, and mind you, Joker only became what you're talking about, like an actual crazy, maniacal person, during the Dark Ages. Before that, he was a clown. And Lex Luthor,
before that he was a
and Lex, well, yeah, but he was
got some history being
well,
dark.
yes, but he was more lighthearted. When he actually got to being scary was during the Dark Ages. They had to force him into that role. With Lex Luthor, I will give you that he is more focused and he does win in public opinion, but he has no stamp on what's the word? Like actual like public life, like you and I. Nobody really remembers Lex Luthor. And he's been around for so long and he's been in so much things, but no one remembers him. Korvac, he hasn't been around for so long, he hasn't been in too many things, so it makes sense.
Been around since the 70s.
Yes, but he hasn't been pushed.
I'll concede that.
Lex Luthor has been pushed everywhere and no one cares about him. He's just a bald guy.
If Korvac was as good a villain as you say, Marvel would push him more often. I will say that they pushed him in Guardians 3000. I will say that Guardians 3000 is one of those niche books that will get sales because it says Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's not the Guardians that people are going to read.
I just want to add this. As a villain, and I'm not talking about popularity, but as a villain, even after he got axed with the reboot that literally no one could stop, he still finds a way to mess everything up, because when they get on Battle Worlds, before they get again, he gets to a place where he cannot stop. But before that, he is already on the verge of ending everything because he remembers who he is and he gets back all these really cool powers and he's about to finish everyone, and then he gets axed by another basically natural disaster that no one can stop.
And I'm not saying that he's not bad
and it's like
But-
remember, it's like Korvac. He's a villain that
he was
only
fighting D-listers.
yes, but
Even in the original Guardians in the 70s, they were D-listers.
yes, but the only thing that stops him, besides, and again, the older comic, which I haven't read, admittedly, but from what he's been doing recently, the only thing that stops him is bad timing. Everybody else, they get stopped by people.
Oh, and wait, before we end it, I also want to add that I forgot to say this for Batman, but Joker is also one of the biggest parts of Batman because he's one of the star of the Batman games, and if it weren't for Batman and Joker, specifically Joker and Batman, the DC Cinematic Universe would not be what it is, because those are the number...
It's not that
Those
good.
are like the top of the list.
It's not bragging points. I'm sorry.
No, because DC is not that good with making movies. But if they were to make a movie and if it were to be good, like the past movies were, you would have to use Batman and Joker because you could actually juice those characters. Superman, the only successful game that they had was Superman 64.
I just wanna add this with Korvac. With Lex Luthor and Joker, they exist for their heroes. With Korvac, he actually has a plan to make the world better, which is why he's better, because he has a solid plan.
Lex Luthor was president of the United States and defended the Earth on multiple occasions while beating Superman.
Okay. Under the wire, that was cool. Okay. Thank God for
You did that
pens.
last
Number
one.
one, pens are awesome because these are my thoughts. I wrote them. That's good. Okay, we'll just jump around and I'll make it a point to hit everybody's points. Okay, Korvac. Once again, I was educated on Korvac, but and I was educated a little bit more too because you guys had a lot of references to the different stories that they take place in, which was actually really interesting. So it's good to take that into consideration. Keep it coming. I'm just gonna put all my cards out here. Korvac and Lex Luthor seem like one of the points that both of you guys were actually really pushing, funny enough, was both of their desire to fix things. If anything, it's almost like a weird, funny answer to like a parallel question of which supervillain would make the best superhero or something, because Korvac wants to make a perfect world, and Lex Luthor, he seems like his major goal is to defeat Superman, but almost in the sense of like Superman being like, because like you mentioned,
Because Superman's bad for the human race.
yeah, and you made it a good point just now, and it's saying that he doesn't see himself as the villain, and he wins in the court of public opinion, but almost because I kind of liken him to like you basically described like a more refined Donald Trump. Where there are people who like that person, and obviously, but it's just from the general populace, you can tell that they're bad news.
I wouldn't vote for
But that said, Lex Luthor and then coming back to Aaron, you got a lot of points in as to I guess the shortcomings of Lex Luthor. Sean, you did a good job of bringing I guess the shortcomings of Korvac, because I wouldn't have known that Korvac was so readily available, like from since the 70s, you said? Yeah. So ultimately,
he's readily available.
Look for it.
Aaron ended up giving me a whole bunch about. First of all, the perspective it was put in that Joker basically contributed to the characters of Oracle, Calculator, Red Hood. Obviously, we know that he is the parallel to Batman.
Yeah.
You made the point about him being better known than Lex Luthor, which I wasn't prepared to necessarily side with you on that. But then you started dropping merch, and
I was gonna mention the posters of my room.
And even then, I was like, that was a good stunt. But even then, I was like, well. But then it got into the point. I mean, there was a lot more merchandising of the character. You had mentioned that also in your argument, and his obsession with Batman isn't necessarily something that I think holds him back. It's something that in the end it is the full story where he ends up doing a lot of other very villainous things. I mean, it was more of a shopping list of horrors and villainy, whereas you guys made me feel like they're heroes. Like I like them now, more or less. But that said, I'm gonna give Aaron the point.